Hello and welcome to this video in which I'm going to be taking a first look at Rocksmith on the PS4, so installing it and just having a quick look around the interface and what's available, and we'll be right back with all of that in just a moment. Hi, you're watching my 6-string journey, and on this channel I'm documenting my entire journey learning to play the guitar, so my lesson reviews, my highs, my lows, how I get over difficult things and the gear that I'm using. And today we're going to be looking at a copy of Rocksmith. Now I've had this on my shelf for the longest time, but we're currently in lockdown, it's the weekend, can't go out, so I thought I'd get this loaded on and just see what it can do for me to maybe spice up the practice sessions, maybe turn it into a game. I don't know what it's going to give me, but I thought I would run it. So let's dive in and we'll install the software and have a quick look around what's available to us. So we've got the CD in the PS4 at the moment and it's just installing. It says it needs to add version 1.12 as an upgrade, so I'll just let that go through and do what it's doing. Now I can't actually show you the screen at the moment because it won't let me do that until I'm into gameplay, but whilst it's installing I'll basically run through what I've got set up. I've got the PS4 with the real tone cable connected into my guitar, and I'm not using an audio cable or anything like that, and then I've got an HDMI lead straight away through to the monitor. Now one of the reasons why I went with the PS4 version is because it comes with the real tone cable, and I hope that everything, because it's PS4, will just work straight out of the box. If you are working with a PC, then you may well need to buy the software and the cable separately, and of course you've got to make sure that your graphics card and audio cards and everything else are all set up. Latency, I understand, can be a bit of an issue sometimes. So I'm hoping that with using the PS4 version that isn't going to be a problem for me. If it is, then you can use an audio cable, and we're just going through the install at the moment, but I think there's a screen that will come up in a moment which does talk about the audio cable. So there we go, so you can use an audio cable through to external speakers, home theatre or headphones. I'm not using any of that, I'm just using the straightforward real tone cable that came with the software, and the software was about £40 from Amazon, so it wasn't too expensive. So click to begin. I need to update the applications using networking features, not worried about that for the moment, and we will create a new profile. That's all okay. Auto saves as we're going along, so that's good, and then we are into the software itself. Okay, so it's asking us whether we've used Rocksmith before. I have had a very quick look, but then I deleted it to do this video, so I'm going to go no. It asks us what level we're at, so whether a beginner, a novice, average, experienced or very experienced. I'm probably at the novice level, but I'm going to go with the beginner level just because. It then asks us which path we want to follow, whether it's lead guitar, rhythm guitar or bass. I'm just going to go with lead guitar, and I need to select and tell the system that I am right-handed, and I need to define the headstock. So I'm playing with my Ibanez, so it's going to be 6 in line, and then we are taken into the calibration. Now, as I said, I've already got my guitar hooked up to my PS4. The first time I did this, it wouldn't actually pick up the lead, and the reason for that is I didn't have my volume up high enough on my guitar, but more importantly, the real tone cable has a break section where it at the USB end, and that wasn't connected properly. So if you find that it won't pick up your guitar, then just check your volume and check the cable to make sure that's working okay. Right, so here we go, muted strings. You really have to play that really loud to get that graph to go up, but there we go. We then go into tuning. Now obviously Rocksmith needs to have your guitar tuned to what it's expecting, because when you start playing the games and certainly the songs, that it needs to make sure that you're playing the right notes. So we'll just go through this little tutorial of how to do that, and the nice thing about Rocksmith is it doesn't assume anything, so it will take you right the way through how to tune with the pegs, and then we'll play each note. Now we just need to adjust my E.
Let's tune the other strings. The next one down is the A string. It's highlighted in yellow. The next one after that is the D string. It's blue. Now, the G string in orange. The next to last string is the B string. It's green. And finally, the high E string in purple. Alright, sounds great. Now, let's play each string one more time, just to double check that we're good to go. Be sure not to hit the other strings when you try. Be sure not to hit the other strings when you try. If you're having trouble with anything, or just want to go more in depth, check out the help topics.
Okay, so that's the guitar tuned. Not the easiest process, but not too bad. Okay, so now we're going to go through a little tutorial on how this system works. So we've got a guide. Okay, so I've got my install is ready to go. I'm not going to worry about that just now. But basically you have the notes coming down the fretboard, and then you have to play them as they hit the strings, and you've got to have a fairly good eye to make sure that you pick up the right note, the right fret, the right string, etc.
When the note gets all the way down to the front of the screen, pick the string to play it.
Okay, so we just need to go through this tutorial before we go any further.
Second fret of the A string. When the note reaches the bottom of the screen, play the A string. For now,
Okay,
the
so
note will wait there for you until you play it. Great job! You can also just play the string without pressing anything down. That's called an open note. Check out the horizontal line coming down the screen.
this is all pretty basic because I've started off with the beginner option.
This is an open A. Let's go ahead and play that.
What's really nice is the tone that's coming through the headphones is pretty close to what I'm playing, and that's quite nice.
Let's try playing a few notes in a row.
Okay, this is going to get interesting.
It's called a riff. Don't worry if you miss a note. We'll wait for you to find the right one. Sweet.
Pretty straightforward.
Sounds like you're getting the hang of it. Now you're ready to take on Rocksmith.
Okay. I'll just skip through this bit for the moment. So this is the main menu for the game. So we can learn a song. Now I can't actually go into the actual songs themselves because the screen recording mode will jump out. But basically you can pick any of these songs and it will take you through in the same way that we just did playing those notes. It will go through teaching you, and you can get faster and faster and faster. Quite a lot of songs in here. So if we just come down, we've got Paint It Black, which is the riff that I've been working on a while ago, so I could maybe learn the rest of the song and play along, which would be good. And I'm wearing a Trooper t-shirt, so we do have Iron Maiden Trooper in here. That's going to be way beyond my capabilities at the moment, so we won't worry about that one. But a whole load of songs to choose from, and I think you can download other ones as well. Session mode is where you can define different instruments to play along with. So you could set a drum, you could set a bass, and then you start playing, and then the PS4 will decide what it's going to play underneath you or over the top of you, I guess. Non-stop play is where you choose a song and you can just keep playing it over and over and over, so that's great if you're actually trying to learn a song and you'll build up your technique. Lessons, there are a whole load of lessons in here, starting off with attaching your Strat, holding your guitar, through picking, shifting, sustain, slide, bends, and right the way through chords, harmonics, and much more. So that's an area that I may well be looking at, and if I can record some of those lessons just to give you an idea of what's going on, I won't record the whole lesson for copyright reasons, but to show how the quality of those, then I may well do another video. If you're interested in that, please comment below. And then Guitarcade, this is the main reason why I've probably installed this whilst we're in lockdown, just to throw some fun into practice sessions and get me picking up the guitar. So we've got technique games, score attack, and leaderboard challenges. I'm not sure about leaderboard challenges. Score attack is where it will play one of the songs and you have to play along and you try and get your score up as much as you can. I believe that's what that is. And technique games is quite interesting. There's a number of games in here, so let's just look at a couple of these. So we've got Gone Whaling, that's the first one. Back into Calibrating. So we always seem to have to calibrate each time. And then we are into the game. So on this one we have got to collect bananas by strumming at different volumes. So the harder that we strum, the higher up the man goes, and he needs to collect the bananas. So just drop down. So muting the strings is key to getting the guy down onto the whale. And then I very often find sometimes it's easier just to play one string. Whoa, not so good there. Crashed into the birds flying along. So yeah, sometimes I find it easier just to play one string. So we just leveled up. Just try that one again. Sometimes I find just playing one string is easier, you know. Oh, yeah. So you can drop down onto these, that's useful to note. So you can walk along the top. Oh, nice new high score there. So then we'll come down to string skip Saloon, and we need to calibrate again. A little bit easier and quicker that time. And then on this game we need to shoot the bandits by plucking the matching string. So we don't need to worry about frets, it's all about the strings. So we go. That'd be nice if they're all in order. No longer in order. So a bit of eye coordination here, and also making sure that we're picking up the right strings. Now obviously we can just hit any old string, but it does make sense, a part of the game, to pick the right string that we need to hit the bandit. this is certainly going to help me to get a feel for where each string is. Ugh. And I got caught. So that's a really good game for whichever string you've got to pick, and it's certainly going to help with the picking of the strings. Okay, so let's come out of that game and we're going to have a look at another one once it's finished. So new high score. Okay, so if we back out of there, and we'll just have a look at one more game. And okay, so we got, oh, skin's been unlocked. So we obviously have got skins that we can unlock as we're going through here. Okay, so we'll just have a look at this one here, which is to do with fretting. And once again, we are going to need to calibrate. A little bit quicker that time. So this time we need to play the matching fret and shoot the duck before it escapes. Okay, so where are we this time? Okay, so fret number 4, fret number 6, fret number 1. Oh, this is going to be really good for moving around the fretboard. Something that, as you can tell, I'm not overly good at doing. Okay, hitting the guy duck at the top, got us a nice bunch of points, and it looks like we're now changing strings, and I'm not ready for that. Okay, got that all wrong. I was playing the wrong string. Oh my goodness me. Oh, that was terrible. That was terrible. That's going to be a really good game for moving up and down the fretboard and learning where all the different fret positions are. Something that I'm not very good at doing, but that's certainly something that I think that I will have a look at as soon as I can. Okay, let's just back out of the guitar guide. We'll come right out of there. There's a whole load more games in there, but I won't go through them all. We then got a multiplayer mode. Won't do anything with that one because I'm not in multiplayer mode. And there's a tone designer. Tone designer is pretty good. You can edit a tone. So we can come up to set our preamp, so our gain and our tone. Come down to amp and we can set the loudness and the bass, middle and treble. We've got a looper which can give us the time and the feedback, etc. Cabinet, so where our microphone is positioned. And we've also got a rack with a whole load of frequencies that we can set. So you can set up your own tones in here, and you can load tones and edit tones and set balance, etc. So quite a nice little area. Shop is where you can buy additional tracks, additional songs, and Uplay, not quite sure what Uplay is. So quite a lot in there to keep us busy. So that's a piece of software that I'm hoping to be playing whilst we're in lockdown, and I will be practicing the games for the frets primarily, and maybe I'll be looking at some of the chord lessons. Although I'm doing those with Michael, I may well have a look at them in here. If you're interested in seeing the content of the lessons and how they are presented, and maybe a little bit more on the games, please comment below and I'll see if I can do another video for you. In the meantime, you know, think about how you can make your practice sessions more interesting, maybe with a game, especially while we're in lockdown. And I'd just like to extend my thanks, as long as everybody else is has been doing so to our NHS and the shop workers and the bin men and everybody else that is keeping our countries going at the moment. It's very much appreciated. I'm privileged in that I work from home, so I'm nice and safe, and I would say that those of us that can, stay home, stay safe, and keep those key workers safe. A huge thank you to them. They're doing a fantastic job. And also to the internet people that maybe have forgotten some of this, but they're doing a great job in keeping the internet working. My daughter works in a hospital, so thankfully she's now working at home. She's taken over my office space. So I've been kicked out for the time being. I work from downstairs, but we've got 3 of us now working from home, all on computers, and we're not seeing any degradation in the performance, and that is fantastic. So, you know, big well done to everybody that's keeping the internet going, especially with everybody doing videos and playing games online and keeping us entertained. Anyway, stay home, stay safe, and I'll see you again on another video very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.